matzliach they are, what they do, what their standing is. It absolutely does not matter. There's a fellow that sells coffees today on the streets of Manhattan. He has a little push cart and he sells coffees. That's all he does. That's his job, and he pushes it down. You know, if everyone wears a vendor tag around his chest. An interesting thing is, so the Yid told me, he said the worst thing is I waited for 3 months until I came home and told my wife what I did. I was ashamed to tell her. So I said, so what gave you the courage? He said, somebody saw me who I know, and I was afraid they were going to tell her. So I said, well, since we're talking about this, you know, like, what was her reaction? She said, I cannot believe that you have the Mesiras Nefesh to stand in the cold and in the hot and in the rain and the snow just for me. That's a level. It's a level. Others say, you know, I told you to get a better job, you can go and talk to the boss, but you're like a little sheep, you don't say anything. Others say, you could have gone on for another year and then you would have been at a different level. You could have done, you could have provided a little bit better for me. And, not for me, for the children. They say, yeah, weiter. Last time I learned, daven better. Try as much as we can. Be mispal for your husband. Be mispal for somebody else who needs parnasa. Or mispal bar chavera. U'tzorech lo esadov v'nena tchila. I'm mispal for the other one. You want a list of people? I'll be happy to give it to you. Call me. I'll be happy to give you a list of people that need parnasa. Shidduchim, I'll be happy to give you a list. People suffering from eating disorders, I'll be happy to give anything you want to list. I probably can help you in some way. But know that we are suffering in the world. There's an economic downturn. Learn what it says about Ikvus Mashiach, about the Pruta, suddenly disappearing from everywhere. We are fulfilling a prophecy. We're fulfilling the Ketzah Yomim. But it depends with what eyes we take to look at the world and those around us. If you say, I'm as proud as you, as proud of you as I am the day we stood under the chuppah, there'll be no greater encouragement that guy will go out and get a job or that woman will go out and try. But I think that has to be the way, not to let things disintegrate in our home.
Go ahead.
Sure. Okay.
Just want to add just one small nakuda, and that is that in these trying times, I think it's still crucial that one realizes whether there's a lot of money or a little money coming into the home, but the house always has to be a bias that's molei simcha. I think it's incredibly integral that if a husband, a father, unfortunately is out of a job, it's still key, and I hear this from a number of people, leave the house. Still maintain more or less the same hours, leave the house. You want to go out and do some job search, you want to make a lot of phone calls, go to another place. I know somebody out of a job, he still maintains an office and he does his research looking into jobs and interview possibilities from that other place. But it's so key to get out of the house that the wife shouldn't have to come home and see, here's my husband and he's been here all day and he hasn't done anything, he hasn't accomplished anything. I think mitzad echad, number one, the husband, yes, he has to do his optimal hishtadlus, get out of the house, make the phone calls, set up the interviews, have more time to learn. If the wife doesn't see the paychecks coming in, at least she could say that my husband's out in this yeshiva, he has a morning seder now, he has an afternoon seder, if one can increase the time of learning. And I think that it's so integral that the house still has to be bayis molei simcha. Whether it's because we're going to have nice Jewish music playing in the background, or if you can't afford going out to the restaurant, or you can't even afford the late night or afternoon cappuccino, or you can't afford going into the city for an exciting Manhattan date, then you know what? So what's wrong with a game of scramble in the park? What's wrong with a game of Trivial Pursuit in the backyard over hot cocoa or something of that nature? There's so many ways to spend quality time and to have fun and enjoyment that really don't cost a lot of money. Whether it's a park, whether it's botanical gardens, but there's so many ways to keep up that excitement, to keep up the date, just keep the sense of normalcy as best as you can. Try and be out of the house and make sure that in the house, we don't talk about the sad things, we don't share bad news. The house is where always going to be molei simcha. We're going to share great news, play happy music that's going to be conducive to creating the right ambiance. We're going to play games together, we're going to have fun together, we're going to get through this nisayon together. Because it's not just about the financial nisyonos, it's all the nisyonos. It's the nisyonos of infertility, the nisyonos of shidduchim crisis. Try and maintain a healthy sense of normalcy. And in the house, we're always going to be b'simcha as best as we can.
Shkaya. Right. A few more questions and we'll call it a day here. This one struck a chord with me. My husband dislikes going to the zoo, parks, etc. Going to the zoo, parks, etc. I enjoy taking my kids on Sunday to different places. It comes to the point where I go myself, but end up resenting it at him. I feel that he likes to stay home all the time. I can't take it. What to do? By the way, sometimes he comes, but looks miserable, and it makes me upset. Where do we go from here?
If I could just finish up their thoughts. I remember going to a Shalom Bayis Vad when it came time to get married, and the Talmid Chacham, the Rav, who was delivering the Vad, he says, let me give you an example. He says, you're out with your Kala, and your Kala says, you know what, we're putting the apartment together. We have to get a new couch for the living room in the apartment. So you say, look, come on, I'm interested in a couch. I'm not interested in a couch. Just go by yourself. Just go by yourself, have a good time. And I trust you, right? You think, Shalom Bayis, you pick it. Sarah, Rivka, you know what, you pick the couch and I'll be fine with it. That's not what she's interested in. She wants to spend time with you. So you say, no, I went to the Shalom Bayis Vad, I went to the Shalom Workshop, so I know what I'm supposed to say. Okay, Sarah, I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go with you. So you go to wherever it is, Macy's, Bloomingdale's, you go to the furniture shop, wherever you're going, and you say, oh, you know what, you're walking around, and Sarah says, what do you think of this? Sarah, I trust your taste. Yeah, it's fine. Look, I went. Come on, the color books, I'm here. You know what, I trust you. Come on, we're not into couches. There's a couch, there's a color match. The drapes doesn't match the carpets. What does a mensch do? You know what a mensch says? I don't have an interest in a couch. If a guy who's been in yeshiva for 10, 15 years cares so much about the color of the couch, he has issues. But you know why he should care about it? Because he loves this woman, and this woman cares about it. And because she cares about it, he cares about it. And it gets her excited to see that he takes an actual interest in the color on the couch. So I think, it's a great color. Maybe it goes with this. And the drapes, maybe that works. But she wants you to be there with her. And it's the same thing with the zoo. I happen to be a zoo fan. The Chidah used to go. Chidah writes, Rabbi Yosef brings down a number of places. Chidah used to go and visit zoos in the Felos Abori. I happen to be a zoo fan. I took my wife on the first date to the Bronx Zoo. And I'm very into Cheetos. And my wife couldn't care less about a Cheeto. But it's mamash, I'm misspoiled. The fastest 71 miles per hour. Of course, who made a bria like this? The flows of Bori, I'm spoiled by the animals that Hashem created. And my wife gets into it because she sees that I get into it. And she likes going to the Museum of Natural History, and I don't really care much for museums. And she'll want to see the bird exhibit in the